If you're watching this on the Legacy of Survival channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button right now, because today's deep dive is one of those topics serious historians and survival-minded thinkers rarely get in one place. Here's the hook. Soldiers in World War II routinely rode out freezing European winters inside bunkers that held steady warmth, even when outside temps sank to 30 degrees Fahrenheit or below, while a modern insulated home today can lose livable heat in just 12 to 24 hours during a blackout. That contrast surprises a lot of people, but once you understand why those bunkers work so well, it opens up real lessons you can apply today. Whether you're studying wartime engineering or strengthening your own off-grid resilience. So stay with me, because what kept those bunkers warm wasn't magic. It was design, physics, and necessity. The reason World War II bunkers held their warmth starts with the way they were built deep into the earth. Military engineers understood that soil isn't just a barrier, it's a thermal stabilizer. Once you move a structure even a few feet below ground, you tap into the constant temperature of the earth itself. In most climates, that underground temperature sits between the mid-40s and mid-50s Fahrenheit year-round. A bunker surrounded by several feet of earth wasn't fighting the wind or the night sky. It was leaning on a stable thermal mass that never plunged to freezing. That meant even minimal heat sources, from body heat to oil lamps to small stoves, raised interior temperatures quickly. And once the bunker warmed, the earth surrounding it slowed the escape of that heat dramatically. The modern lesson here is straightforward. If you want resilience in a no-power scenario, create spaces that lean on the ground's natural temperature stability. Even a small below-grade room or partially earth-bermed shelter can hold heat far longer than a surface-level structure. You can test this yourself by comparing the temperature of a basement during winter to the temperature of an unheated bedroom. The basement will always drop slower because it's being moderated by the soil's thermal inertia. Bunkers stayed warm because their walls were pure mass, not hollow cavities filled with insulation. Today's homes rely on air trapped inside fiberglass, foam, or cellulose. That works efficiently when you have active heating, but once the furnace dies, those lightweight walls lose their heat reserve almost immediately. World War II bunkers used thick concrete, stone, packed earth, and steel. Those materials absorbed heat and then released it slowly, a process that kept temperatures stable even when external conditions stayed cold for days. If you want a practical application, well, think about adding thermal mass to any survival-oriented structure. It can be as simple as lining interior walls with dense materials like brick, stone veneer, or even tightly packed filled water containers. You don't have to rebuild your house like a bunker. You're just giving your shelter more ability to store heat when you have it and leak it slowly when you don't. Another key reason bunkers retained heat is that they weren't designed around comfort. They were designed around survivability, which meant minimal air leakage. Air exchange is where most modern homes fail during a blackout. With multiple stories, large windows, attic vents, recessed lighting gaps, and modern code requirements for airflow, heat escapes rapidly the moment your HVAC stops running. WWII bunkers, by contrast, were intentionally cramped and sealed. They had controlled ventilation, usually a single narrow intake and a single exhaust protected by baffles or filters. That restricted airflow prevented drafts and trapped heat inside. You can apply this principle without living like a soldier underground. During a modern outage, choose the smallest room you can seal effectively and concentrate heat there. Block door gaps with towels, cover windows with heavy blankets, and shut down airflow pathways. You're recreating the airtight efficiency that wartime bunkers achieved by design. Bunkers also stayed warm because they created heat continuously, even in subtle ways soldiers rarely talked about. People, really underestimate how much heat the human body produces. Pack 6 to 10 soldiers into a confined space. Add heavy wool uniforms, fuel stoves, lanterns, and rations cooked inside, and suddenly the bunker becomes a living heat engine. The small interior volume of many defensive bunkers meant that every calorie burned by a human or flame stayed inside the structure. Unlike modern homes, with open floor plans and thousands of cubic feet of air to heat, bunkers concentrated warmth where people actually were. There's a modern translation here too. Shrink your survival footprint. If you ever have to ride out a cold snap without power, don't try to heat your entire home. Pick one room. Live in the smallest warm zone possible. Every person inside becomes a heat source, just as they were in those bunkers. Finally, bunkers stayed warm because soldiers respected their limitations, while modern homeowners rely on technology that disappears the moment the grid does. Troops understood that materials, space and heat were, finite. They layered clothing, slept close together, rotated sentries near warmer corners, and rationed fuel so stoves ran on a predictable cycle. That mindset turned marginal conditions into survivable ones. Modern homes fail not because they are weak, but because we built comfort systems that depend almost entirely on electricity and gas. When those vanish, all the thermal weaknesses appear instantly. The practical takeaway is honestly mental as much as structural resilience comes from knowing your shelter's behavior instead of assuming technology will save you. Walk through your home during winter. Identify the coldest rooms, the draft points, the areas with the most thermal mass, and the best places to concentrate heat or add earth contact buffering. Build a map of your own environment the same way soldiers learned their bunkers. If you found this breakdown valuable and want more deep historical analysis with modern survival applications, make sure you subscribe to the Legacy of Survival channel. Share this guide with fellow enthusiasts and keep pushing for knowledge that actually prepares you for anything.